Dawar Aziz from United Kingdom, welcome you on this very first live telecast of Zaitoon FM English channel. We have started today. We have taken this privilege in our hands, and we are going to be broadcasting very regular, initially probably once or twice a week, but you will be able to see even more regular transmissions. The purpose of this channel is that as Zaitoon FM, the Urdu channel, has received a lot of encouragement, a lot of positive feedback on its exposing the Jamaat-e-Ahmadiyya, its concepts, its religious thoughts, and what they try to promote themselves. How did this start? What is the founder of Jamaat-e-Ahmadiyya, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, did? What were his claims? What were the claims of his predecessors? They called them Khalifas. And how this Jamaat, this cult, this sect, whatever you may call it, is trying to deceive Muslims, trying to say that they are themselves, they are Muslims, while very clearly, due to their fundamental difference in beliefs with the mainstream Islam, they're definitely not Muslims. And this is what we've been trying to do in Urdu channel, has been extremely popular. We're very excited now to bring the same information for those people who didn't understand Urdu, and as English being the international language. So we are hoping and we're trying, and we only can try, the result is in Allah's hands, of course, is that to bring this awareness to a lot of people who don't speak Urdu. Many of Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani's books are not, in fact, most of his books are not available in English, and there is a reason for that. Throughout the transmission today, then later on tomorrow, not tomorrow, I mean it's another day, we will be translating it for you and exposing that why Jamaat-e-Ahmadiyya, that claims to have translated Quran in almost 90 languages, has failed to translate the books of Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani. We have some guests with us today, and we will take them on board one by one sometime together. Why we have chosen them? Because they are all the gentlemen, they are all the privileged people, especially favored by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who realized what we are saying. They realized way long before we started talking about it. They realized that they are caught in a trap by Jamaat-e-Ahmadiyya. It is not true Islam. This has nothing to do with Islam. It's trying to disguise itself as Islam. They realized that by reading the books of none other than the founder of Jamaat-e-Ahmadiyya, Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani himself. And then obviously Quran was there to back up their claim, and Hadith and Sahih Sunnah and Sahih Hadith. So we will take them, we will speak to them first, and then later on during some other shows, they will also become my co-hosts. I'm your host today. I was born in a Muslim family. I'm not a convert. Alhamdulillah, I was born as a Muslim, but I consider my guests today even more luckier than I am. I consider myself lucky to be born as a Muslim, Alhamdulillah. But my guests today, they left a false belief and they became Muslims, Alhamdulillah. They accepted Islam, and they were the lucky ones. I consider them even more luckier than myself, and therefore it is my privilege, it is my honor. And I feel totally alleviated in my status today when I invite them one by one. And I will talk to them about their past life, what they were doing while they were with Jamaat-e-Ahmadiyya, how did they realize, what made them believe that they are not in the right set of mind, they're not following the right religion, it's a cult. What made them believe that? Then what struggle they had to go through while they were fighting with themselves in their minds, whether to leave or to stay, etc. Then how did they make up their mind when they took the step? What happened to them? How did they cope with the stress and the problems that they faced at the hands of their relatives, friends, and families, and even a struggle within themselves as well? And what are they doing now? And what are their plans for the future? So with this, I will invite first of our guest speaker today. He's a privileged gentleman. Excuse me. I've been out in the sun, so I'm not feeling too good. And I must apologize as well, because the show started half an hour late. This was due to some personal problems I had on the roadside, and that's why I couldn't reach the studios in time. My apologies to those people who had to wait. Now, with that, I would like to bring on stage our first distinguished speaker. This gentleman needs no introduction. He is well known among all circles of Qadianis. They call themselves Ahmadis, and of course Muslims. Excuse me, I will apologize because my throat is playing up a little bit. So without any further delay, I would like to invite to come and speak to us on stage Mr. A.K. Sheikh, a former Qadiani who is now, alhamdulillah, for a very long time has accepted true Islam. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh Saab.
Wa alaikum assalam, Brother Dawar.
How are you, sir, today?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm grateful. I'm so happy. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sir. To be honest, we are happy. It's our honor, it's our privilege to have you on this first show, your first appearance on this show. Today's our first broadcast, as you know.
Thank you.
And we are excited. You're a part of the team later on, as I said, that we will be doing it together. There are some other gentlemen who will come, inshallah. There are other gentlemen who will come with us. I will introduce them in due time. Sheikh Saab, you will have to apologize, me and the viewers, because my throat is playing up a little bit. I don't know where did it come from. It was perfectly fine.
Better have a sip of water a little bit. That will
I
help
will do. I will do. Okay. I will do it during the little break that I'll have, and you will be telling your story. Okay. So, Sheikh Saab, what I would like to say is that obviously the people in the known circles who do work in these areas in the circle about countering the propagation of Qadianiyat, you are very well known. I mean, there is no introduction needed, but still there might be some viewers, especially those in Africa and other countries, who may not be well aware of your stature. So I would invite you to tell us a little bit about your background. Where were you born? If you don't mind telling, when were you born?
Okay.
And how was your grooming? How did you groom to be a true follower of the Qadiani or Ahmadi Jamaat?
First of all, thank you so much. Thank you, Dawar, you and the Zaitoon FM and the team of the Zaitoon. The question you have asked me, to be honest with you, it will take a day if I will go in details, if I'll tell about myself. So I'll try my best to make it short. My name is A.K. Sheikh, stands for Ahmad Kareem Sheikh. And I was born in Qadian. And my year of birth is with the Pakistan is 1947. So my age and Pakistan age is the same. My grandmother, she was like a companion, which called a Sahabiya, a companion of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. And his father, her father, and her brother, they were also. My father born in Qadian, and he was given name by Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, and he loved him. He took him in his lap. All these, everything was a very proud for our family and all these things. Okay, let's go further. That they spent their life there. My father had 8 children, 4 girls and 4 boys. After that, we migrated to Pakistan. When we migrated to Pakistan, at that time, Mirza Bashiruddin Mahmud, who was the second successor of Ahmadiyya cult. I'm sorry, I have to use the word I know is Ahmadiyya community and Jamaat, they call themselves. But the attitude, but their approach, but their behavior is a cult behavior. So that's why I gave them a name, a cult. So the Mirza Bashiruddin Mahmud advised his community at 1947 that the resident of Qadian should not make a claim of their properties when they go in Pakistan, because we have to come back to Qadian. We will come back. So, like, it gives a very good signal, and you can think about that one, that when they say that we have taken a active part and we were sincere in the partition and the Ahmadis wanted to stay in Pakistan. Now, from this statement, you can imagine what was his intention and how loyal they were to Pakistan. Now, let the audience decide this thing. We didn't make a claim. My family, there were so many other Ahmadi families who didn't make a claim of their properties from Qadian. Now, what happened after that? Mirza Mahmud family made a claim of all those properties. They did that one. So they took over everything, what we supposed to take our share, whatever our property, in spite of our property, that we should have a land or whatever the properties from Pakistan. No, we couldn't get that. All those gone to the Mirza family. But anyway, we were child. I have nothing. I came to know later about this thing. After that, we grown up, and like any other, you can say, the blind faithers and followers, whatever our parents told us, like Mirza Sahib is the Imam Mahdi, Mirza Sahib is the promised Messiah, Mirza Sahib is the man who was prophesied that he will come, he is the one. And the rest of the Muslims, we listen from them also, that they also believe they are waiting for these two personalities. So this is now, someone have accepted and someone have rejected. Until, you can say, like in the 70s and mid 70s, they were living without any like hard feelings or whatever. Like a verbal might be there, or were some things, but a physical or the violence was not there. 74, the one incident happened, and that made the Ahmadis as a non-Muslim. Like the bill went to the National Assembly, and they declared as a non-Muslim. Now, at that time, I was a part of, you can say, of this cult, and I knew what's going on, and in and out, I knew everything was planned. Now, we have to do another program, like obviously in future it will come with every point, that what was that point. uh, I'm sorry, your mic is off, Dawar, brother Dawar, your mic is off. uh, yes.
Thank you so much. I muted it because I wanted you to speak without
Th-
interruption, and I
th-
forgot. Yes, absolutely. As Sheikh Sam, as you're well aware, that we have got programs in pipeline. So
Gee.
yeah, definitely we
So
will touch
I
that.
will not go in details. So later, like when we will do the programs, I'll go in details of those. So that
Sure.
that was a very planned attacking on the students when they're coming back from their trip, and whatever happened, that one. No,
This is the incident you're referring to that happened
70.
at Lyalpur, the
Yes, exactly.
Lyalpur, which is called
Yeah,
Faisalabad now,
yeah, yeah.
the train station. Yes,
That,
okay.
but exactly, it happened at the Rabwa Chenab Nagar's railway station. Then the
Indeed.
riots started from Laipur, from my city, from where I belong, and you can say that our business was the first one which was attacked, and we lost
Hmm.
everything. Yes, that is on record. If you read the book of Allah Vasaya Saab, there is mentioned that our business was the very first was attacked. Our business, that was our business. Anyway, after that, now the things how slowly, gradually start moving into, like, I won't say the violence, like more kind of arguments. No, they are not like the people making a distance from the Ahmadis because they've been declared a non-Muslim, like that. The same
Right.
time, the same time. Now I go into 80s. At the mid of 80s, when Mirza Tahir Ahmed, the fourth successor of this cult, migrated to England. From there, he sent a movement which calls Kalma Tahrik. Like he said that every Ahmadi should put a badge, kalma badge, on their shirts, on their chest, like that, to display that we are a Muslim. And at that time, I was the luckiest person, I used to call myself, because I was the one who executed this movement, who started this one, who like was on the front line. The very first 22 people were arrested from Faisalabad. Now, the refugees all over the world right now are those. I can say that I am the founder, I am the real person who have made all these refugees, and they've been gone to outside and settled themselves and all this. If I won't start that, if I would not be given that instructions to start, they won't be here, and the situation would be completely different. From there, at that time, our like the what called the organization Khudamul Ahmadiyya, and our head, which calls that the Sadr Khudamul Ahmadiyya, or the in charge, or the head, he was a Bengali person. He died actually. Mahmud Bengali, his name was Mahmud Bengali. He became that the national Amir of Australia, and he died later in Australia. He was the in charge, and I was the head of that one. There is a very interesting one department they have, which calls Shobai Amumi, and now they have given the name Amure Kharjiya, like a foreign affairs. They are just like a CIA, KGB, that kind of that one. The activities, to be honest with you, oh really, believe me, in some cases I can say,
some kind of a secret service.
oh yes, and believe me, they are so much trained and all these things. You will be surprised that this kind of like a religious community having this kind of. But now you can see when they say, oh, look at this one, that the political parties or the religious communities have their some sort of Lashkar-e-Taiba and this and that, Taliban. The Ahmadiyya have a worse than that. They were merciless people, to be honest with you. How they used to treat their own
Are
people,
you, Sheikh
and
Sab,
what.
are you referring to the Al Furqan and Al Badr brigades and stuff like that?
No, that is completely different, to be honest. Al Furqan is something else. This is the real thing which our Muslims should basically have the knowledge of that one. Honestly, I appreciate that you know and you have in your mind all these little informations. But if our Muslim brothers, they will get the real knowledge, and then they would like to defend or to face them, believe me, they will save the time. But when you don't know where is your enemy sitting, you
Agreed.
first have to find out, and you will be losing too
First
much
you have
time.
to first you have to identify the target and
Identify target and then
then
fire.
address.
Yeah, attack on
Exactly.
that.
Okay, Sheikh Sab, if I could, sorry to interrupt you there. It's very interesting. I was listening with a lot of patience, and I'm sure our viewers are as well. But I want to bring you towards a very important and interesting factor of your life. People would love to know that what made you believe that you are in the wrong grounds.
Actually, to be honest, what they want to listen, the story is not like that. Honestly speaking, this is the one thing that I don't like to mislead, misguide, or lie to the people. I don't like these kind of things. So this is the main reason my to leave this cult, because when in Canada in 1990, you can say in 1990s, when they asked me to play the same role which I played in Pakistan, I should play in Canada. I told them this is not a Pakistan. I'm sorry, you can't do here. This is not the way it's going to work here. But they asked me to do, well, I did that one. And at one point, I told them that why you are not that fair? Because if I am the one who is going to deal with these things, then you should not lie to me. Then you should give me the straight and like the whatever the instructions to be honestly given. At that time, the national Amir, he lied to me, and my voice was raised in front of like other people's, or at the situation or the place was that we were standing on the stairs of the mission house, what called the place of worship there in Toronto. I raised my voice. I told him that you are lying. I don't believe this thing. And that was the point where they said that either I should apologize and write for forgiveness to the Caliph at that time, the Mirza Tahir, or otherwise you will be expelled. When I listen to
Right.
these are the four people still alive who came to my home and who conveyed the message to me, like they, who brought his message, whatever was the national Amir message or the Khalifa's message, they brought. They asked me I should write for the forgiveness. I said, what for forgiveness? Because the national Amir was lying, and I told him that why you are lying to this. So why I should forgive? They said, you know, Sheikh, that you will be expelled. I said, before they expel me, I say goodbye to them. Bye. That is the reason.
So basically, you were asked to ask for a pardon, a kind of a royal pardon, if I like to call it that way. You were asked to ask for a pardon for
Yeah.
something that you never committed. Instead, it was somebody else who did it.
So, yeah,
Somebody else lied.
yes,
So that
he
tells you
should
the
he should be
credibility of
he
Jamaat
should be
again.
punished, not me. He should be punished, not me. They were asked. I said I quit. That's it, and that was the moment. And
Okay.
my wife
So
and
so much for the slogan, then: love for all, hatred for none. I mean, this is one of your own brother in faith, if I may like to call it, like AK Sheikh, that Amir lied to
yes,
save basically himself and put you as a scapegoat. Now, so much for the honesty and the
I'm sorry. I think your signals are going a little bit. Your picture is stuck. But anyway, what you are saying to me, I do understand. If my voice is going to the audience, then I'll be talking. The point is this one, that even here today, the other, you can say, like the missionaries of Canada, they, when they came to know that what happened between me and the national Amir, even they admitted, even they said to me personally, yeah, he shouldn't do that one, what he did. He shouldn't do that. He shouldn't treat you. He shouldn't behave with you like that. They accepted. And in this one, the name Mirza Afzal, who is right now is a missionary over here in Toronto. He's still alive. And today, if he will speak truth or he will do the same thing, he will lie. I cannot say anything, but he said me these words, that Naseem should not do what he did. So that was the reason, I think. Then the Jamaat ordered my immediately family, like my wife, my brother and sisters, that they should pressurize me, that I should write for the apology. I should write them and asking the forgiveness. And my family pressurized me, my in-laws, my real brother and sisters, my siblings, my nephew, nieces, everyone, and they tried. But I flatly refused. I said, I'm sorry. I stand with that.
on
And
principle. But I would like to, Sheikh Sab, I would like to apologize to you and to the viewers. There's something happened on my side. Connection normally doesn't happen. It's very stable, but for some reasons, I believe it was on my side. Because I see you've been speaking constantly. So I had to re-enter the stream. So my apologies.
it's
Okay,
okay.
so that's very well. So you stood by your principle, and a man
Yeah,
of dignity and honor, the
that's
person who have some self-respect should always take your line. So it's a little bit unusual, because I've come across many Qadianis. They call themselves Ahmadis. they left this cult because they came across. I mean, there are so many stories. Some people realize reading some hadiths, like for example, that this cannot be true. That Prophet ﷺ always spoke the truth, and something that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad said was in complete contradiction
Yeah.
to what Prophet ﷺ said, and that made them believe, and they had to leave in the end because they could not accept that Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani has spoken the truth, which goes 180 degrees against Prophet ﷺ, and there is no explanation, there is no tawil, there is nothing that you can do. So many stories, but you are a man of principle as you are, and you stood your point. So at this stage, what I would like to do is that we have, I mean, we have some limitation on time, unfortunately.
Sure.
We've got probably I think half an hour or just a little over half an hour left. You are obviously a distinguished guest speaker. I would like to also include some other speakers in this live chat with us today. Today we're doing only the first one, and I would like our viewers to know that this is the first chat today. Don't worry, it's not going to go away. We will do with everyone if it's needed. Everybody deserves that their stories heard fully and how they came from Qadianiyat to Islam, alhamdulillah. But today is, I repeat myself again, is just an introduction. It's an introductory stream that you will be able to see on YouTube channels as well of Zaitoon FM English channel.
Brother Dawar, let me say
yes, sure.
one sentence, and then please call our second brother. Just to let the audience know that I was the first person in year 2000. I left this cult in 1997. 1997, okay. I left this cult. Then I start reading Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's books, which I never touched before. I never had a doubt anything. I was like the thing that whatever my parents, whatever the successors, whatever the Maulvis of these cults were saying, yes, amanna wa sadaqna, amanna wa sadaqna. They are saying true. But
yes.
the day this incident happened, before I opened my mouth, I started studying his books. It took me 3 to 4 years.
And it's not easy. We all done that.
I studied all. And I was the first person who launched the website, who spoke up, who raised the voice. And today, thanks to Allah, that how many people, all you can see on social media, they came after, and that's all that one. So
Sheikh, you can give your website's address. It's not a restricted publication.
My website is right now in their hand. They have hacked my website. So that's why
alislam.org.
No, not Al-Islam. Ahmadi.org.
Oh, Ahmadiya.org. I know.
Yes.
You created that website.
The very first was nakedahmadi.com. They took me to the hate crime. They complained to the Canadian agencies. I've been interrogated twice by the Canadian agencies. I faced everything, what they say. Love for all, hated for none. I think later I can say, I wanted to say that I am the first person who raised the voice, who came on the social media, and today you can see that how many people. This is the change. This is the real revolution. This is the thing which
fantastic. Wonderful. On this note, I would like to bring our other speakers. So who is with us? We have Brother Omar Khan. We have I believe we also have Chaudhry Saab, but we start with Omar Khan. Omar, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dawar bhai, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you very much. We have also another gentleman, as you can see, Ahmadiya Fact Check blog. That's his name, and we all know who he is. Do we need to name him?
MashaAllah.
Brother Bashir Shah. So welcome, distinguished gentlemen, both of you, Brother Omar and Brother Bashir. Thank you for joining us. As you were on the backstage, you must have been listening to AK Sheikh Saab mashallah, it's a wonderful, inspiring story that how devoted he was, and then when he realized on principle that this is something that he cannot do anymore, or based on principles, and then fact-finding missions, and after that he was at least honest to himself. And you too, gentlemen, you too as well. I mean, I must congratulate you. I always considered myself, as I said at the start of this program, this broadcast, that I consider myself a privileged one, that I was born in a Muslim family. Alhamdulillah, adhan was given in my ear when I was born. Alhamdulillah, thumma alhamdulillah. But I consider you guys, Sheikh Saab, Brother Umar, you, and Bashir Shah, I consider you guys much, much more luckier than myself, alhamdulillah, because you in fact learned what is the truth. I was given it by birth and then I followed it, and you yourself, you considered it. So I would like to ask Brother Umar, I mean, briefly, we don't want this stream to go on forever, although we would love to, and I know the viewers would love to, but to just to encourage them and let them know that these streams will be very regular. Today is an introductory stream, so please bear with us. And then every week you will see advertisements everywhere, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, and you will be given a topic. Even in the WhatsApp groups, we will announce a topic, that what are we going to discuss. And by the way, all of it is going to be in English, because this is an English stream. So Brother Umar, please give us a brief introduction about yourself and what made you leave this cult. I mean, this is what everybody would like to know, and it might inspire them.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much, Dawar Bhai. Glad to be part of the show this morning, or this evening. Sorry, you're Pakistan time. I'm California time here.
I've got sunlight out. This is UK time.
Mashallah, mashallah. So,
is late, yes.
Just to make it brief and short and sweet, I'm a U.S. I was born into the Ahmadiyya faith. Was born in 1970, and my mom had actually accepted Ahmadiyya from Christianity, so she converted obviously after marrying my dad, and that's how I came into the religion of Ahmadiyya. But back in my exit was very unique. Actually, the commonality in my exit is actually AK Sheikh's website, ahmadi.org. What it was I wasn't a regular attending Ahmadi, so I don't want any Ahmadis to say, hey, this guy is fabricating things or lying. I wasn't a regular Ahmadi. I was more 9 to 5 employment driven in the States.
You were there just for the sake of being there, that's all.
I was there maybe every other Jummah or one Jummah in a month, every Eid prayer. And what happened was in 2004, I had a kind of life-changing event that I wanted to, get back to the basics of my religion and being a good person and everything like that. So I started reattending the local Ahmadi mosque, and I from the onset, I knew that there was something wrong, but I couldn't put my finger on it because
you've got this inside feeling telling you that there is something wrong.
Yeah, there was something wrong because what happened was I was sitting at my mom's house one day. I think it was in 2000. It was after 9/11, and I remember my eyes glancing on the Ahmadiyya Gazette USA. And it was the publication was September 2001, and I remember my eyes being shocked at what I was reading on the front page. It said 81 million converted in 1 year, and I was blown away because I said, "Wow, I've been so far away from this Jamaat that I've missed all of this. This great conversion that's going on." And so when I joined, when I rejoined the Jama'ah, and I was going there regularly, attending, in 2005, for something unique happened. The Jama'at personnel had approached me and said, "You know what, Brother Omar, we want you to give a speech on the life of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. And I said, I'll be respectful, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib. And I said, oh, I would be honored to. Are you sure you want me doing that? And they said, no, please, it'd be in English and do
I
that.
think we
So,
have a little problem. You're back. You're back. You got frozen. Your screen was frozen for a bit. I don't know if
oh,
anybody
sorry.
noticed.
Am I back?
No. Carry on. Carry on. You're
Okay.
fine now. Yeah.
Okay, so I welcome the speech, and I wrote what I believe was a very good speech and an honest speech. But there was a couple of things that happened during my writing of the speech that led up to the couple of weeks before that. And one was, when you're going to start out on somebody's life history, you have to know when they were born. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, whatever website you go to, you're going to find 570 AD, 571 AD. Within 2 years, you're going to find
Yes.
his year of birth.
And this is going back more than almost like what 1500 years now. Almost.
Yes, definitely. And I was blown away that
so accurate, still so accurate. Yeah.
When I did the search on Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib, I was stumped in finding that his birth year was varying by 4, 5, 6 years here and there, whatever book that I was reading, whether it was Review of Religions, whether it was online at alislam.org. And so what I did was I just did a quick Google search, and that's where Ahmadi.org popped up. And there was this blog and this chat going on the date of birth of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. And I said, wow, this is unique. But I never thought anything of it. Anyways, I prepared my speech, and I delivered my speech at the Ahmadi Mosque. And one thing led to another. But when I did come back from that speech, I was a little shaken because a couple of the president, who is also the son-in-law of Dr. Abdul Salam, he's the president of our. He was the president of our local Ahmadi Mosque, and he approached me and he said, my son Omar, has anybody in your family checked your speech for references and stuff like that? And I said, why would they need to do that? I'm a man. I wrote the speech. I'm proud of it. I believe it'd be just fine. And then the Murabbi Saab also approached me and says, Beta, isme koi ghair Ahmadi material to nahi hai?
All right. So what he said, that there is no reference from a non-Ahmadiyya
sources. And I was shocked, and I said, no, bilkul bhi nahi. Isme sab kuch jo bhi, whatever I found,
all is from Ahmadiyya source.
From Ahmadi material. I've written it, and I hope they liked it. Anyways, I delivered that speech.
So they were actually, you were saying, Brother Umar, that they were very keen in finding out that you haven't consulted any other source outside the Jamaat.
Exactly, and that's something that's
why is that?
But anyways, I delivered the speech. That day went very well, but it was after that I kept getting bombarded with dream upon dream. One dream, showing me a very small Quran, and I have it from the 1970s. It's a small Quran that Maulvi Sher Ali had translated, and it's green in color. So in my dream, I see this small Quran, but onto the side of it, I see this large, beautiful, all different colors of the spectrum, binded Quran. And every time I reach for it in my dream, that Quran eludes me, and it kind of just goes away. And I woke up that one night and I prayed and I said, oh Allah, I get the feeling that I'm not on the right path. I seek your guidance. I need, I need your guidance. And it was then that al-mustaqim. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. Siratal lazina an'amta alayhim. And that's what I prayed fervently. I mean, I was praying day and night, day and night, day and night, because I knew something was wrong. And lo and behold, I started studying, like A.K. Sheikh Sahib so wonderfully put it, that even though his was a semi non-religious event that led him away from the Jamaat,
Mm.
he in turn, what it turned him to do was read the books of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. And Dawar Aziz Bhai, I would state this, and I need to state this for fact. Whatever claims Mirza Ghulam Ahmad made, right, wrong, or indifferent, um, the one thing is very, very true from reading his books. You're going to find a very contradictory nature within this one person. Jesus is alive and he's coming back. Jesus is dead and he's buried in Syria. Jesus is dead and he's buried in Al-Quds. Jesus is dead and he's buried in Palestine. Jesus is dead and he's buried, Baladu Sham, and Jesus is dead and he's buried in Kashmir. And oh, by the way, I learned of this Yuz Asif, and one of my followers, disciples were there. So that's all deceitful. But then he also attributes his very first book, Brahina Ahmadiyya, to Allah, and he says that he wrote it with the guidance from Allah, and that
Yes.
he saw in a dream that it was blessed by the Holy Prophet and stuff like that. And I said, how is
Yeah.
a man stating this, going back and forth? But the other thing that I embarked on was his date of birth. Why was that such a big, hocus
Well,
pocus?
it's vague. It's vague.
You know what I mean?
It's
It's so
it's
vague.
totally vague. Yeah.
But in studying Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's books, one consistent message that he delivered throughout all of his different books was his year of birth. It was either
Mm.
1839 or 1840. So that was one thing he was very consistent with. At any time that if he wrote a book, in 1900, he said, "Oh, okay, my age is approximately 60 or 61." He was very concise in his message. But the deceitful thing that the Jamaat came along and did was change his date of birth from 1839 or 1840 to 1835. And there's only one objective. There's only one objective
Yes.
for that. And that
His
is
prophecy.
because his prophecy, his failed prophecy that he was going to live to the age of 80. Ahmadis watching right now, or who are going to watch this show in the future, may, just look at me and say, "Oh, you know what? Brother Omar, or Omar, you're just babbling the same old baloney that we've heard from Muslims around the world over and over and over again." But the fact of the matter is, Dawar Bhai, it's such an important factor that not only did Mirza Ghulam Ahmad consistently state his birth year, approximately 1839, 1840, the Jamaat is the one that came behind him and swept all
Mm.
that under the rug. So
Yeah.
the Jamaat is also
Yeah.
complicit in this. Not only are they
Absolutely.
propagating a message, an incorrect
Absolutely.
message, they have
So
actually falsified this.
So this brought you to the place where you started to see some light at the end of the tunnel. I understand that. Very interesting, intriguing. It's amazing what you're saying, and we will continue to explore these things like Sheikh Saab. I mean, we haven't heard enough from Sheikh Saab either, and neither from yourself. But we will continue talking. Now, at this
Definitely.
stage, Brother Bashir Shah has been waiting long enough at the backstage. So please, I mean, don't leave the show. I don't know if whether AK Sheikh Saab is with us right now or not, or has he left the show? But the idea was that he should. There he is. Thank you very much, sir, for staying back. With all due respect. And now it's Brother Bashir Shah online, and I would request Brother Bashir Shah to unmute his mic, so we can hear him. Thank you. Oh, not just hear him, but we can also see him. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Bashir Shah. Now, introduction about Bashir Shah is he is one of the same, just like AK Sheikh Saab.
One. Okay, here we go. Sheikh Saab, it's just me and you.
Yeah, no, everybody is here. No,
Dr. Aziz was talking. Seems like he got kicked
yeah.
out.
Oh, because he's on his phone, so something happens. It's okay.
Yes. Yes, sorry,
Yeah,
sorry.
he's back.
We're back. I think again this problem was from my side. Is that right? Could you guys see each other? Yeah. It's I don't know why is it keep doing it. On the weekends we do have this problem sometimes. But anyway, so Brother Bashir Shah, if this, let me just say to all the speakers, if this happens again, I hope it doesn't happen. Then by all means, Brother Umar, Brother Bashir Shah, and Sheikh Saab, I mean, you can continue to talk. If your host disappears, don't worry about that. The show is not going to go for very long anyway. We will have many more shows. I keep repeating myself that we will have a lot more shows than this, because you can never ever cover everything in one go. Okay, so uh, what I would say to Bashir Shah, first of all, we all know you, what you've been doing. I mean, your Ahmadiyya fact blog, check blog, is something that I myself consult as a student. So I mean, this is your introduction to me. Alhamdulillah. So this is your introduction to me, to myself. But for our viewers, I mean, very briefly, if you could elaborate on this thing, that I mean, your background, we know that you belong to this cult, and then tell us quite briefly that what made you believe that you are in the wrong waters. I mean, this is not something for you. This is not fact. And then, how did you manage to pull yourself out of this quicksand? I would say it. Yes, Bashir, all yours.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. So when I was 11, 12 years old, I was a born Ahmadi. I was born in Rabwa. My parents brought me to the USA when I was an infant, a toddler, just a few months old. I began to question Ahmadiyya when I was 11, 12 years old. Alhamdulillah, only Allah guides. Allah put it in my mind. These people are corrupt. These people are bad. They jockey for position in the Jamaat. They promote some families over other families. It's all about money. You know, the person who's the president is the guy who gives the most chanda. So I questioned all of this in a different way, and I was told on. My dad was told by other family that your son is questioning everything. So they began to persecute me and treat me like the redhead stepchild. They treated me very bad. And that was upsetting because I was a straight A student, still am, right? And I worked really hard. I grew up in a small business, and we worked 7 days a week, and we had no money, and the Jamaat would take all of our money, which would force us to work 7 days a week, no days off. From 4 a.m., I was the muezzin of the house. I gave the azan until Isha. We worked all day. No vacation, no time off. So I questioned it. I got in trouble. I kept my mouth shut. At that point, I don't think I believed in it at all. So as I turned 18, I moved away from my family. I joined the United States Air Force, and I went to college, and I traveled the world, got some different experiences, and I decided to try Ahmadiyyat again, to give Ahmadiyyat a shot. So I got married. They lured me in with a woman, brother. You see what I mean? So I got married to a girl from
It's pretty typical. Pretty typical. Yes.
Very typical, right? If I hadn't married, you know, I listened to my father and my mother. If I hadn't done that, I was gone. I was already out the door. I'd show up and I wouldn't sit into the brainwashing sessions. Right? I'd be out back. I'd be playing basketball, playing football. I already knew it was nonsense, right? But there were so few books of Ahmadiyyat in English. How could I read it? How could I read anything? There was nothing available. In 1995, there was maybe 2 books in English. Masih Hindustan, Man, Jesus in India, and Philosophy of the Teachings of Islam, and maybe a few others. So I didn't know who Mirza Ghulam Ahmad was. So I go to Rabwa, 2003, 2004. I meet thousands of people. I mingle with the Rabwa people, and I realize this is not a religious place. The masjids barely get 10% of the people for regular prayers. I'm seeing other things, right? So I come back. I started researching it, and the number one topic I researched was the Lahori-Qadiani split, and it had to do with the prophethood of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. I studied,
Yes.
and studied, and I even went to amdi.org and got a lot of information. I realized that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad lied about his prophethood for 21 years. In fact, in Brahini Ahmadiyya, Volume 4, he claims, he quotes chapter 31-27 and said the words of Allah will never end. The ink of Allah will never end. So he was claiming prophethood even before he claimed to be the Messiah, but he was scared, right? And then in 1891 in Delhi, he published an announcement as he was cornered in Delhi, and he said any claimant to prophethood is a kafir and a liar, right? And then he even prayed behind the Imam at Delhi. This is one of the only times he prayed behind the Sunni Imam. Because he was in big trouble and they had him cornered, and maybe the British police weren't able to, they said we might not be able to protect you. There's a mob forming. So this was the turnoff for me, is he lied about his prophethood. That's what caused the split. And then I sort of backed off and I said, okay, what am I going to do? Okay, I'm going to stop going to the Ahmadiyya Masjid. I'm going to stop praying with them. I'm going to stop.
Good decision.
I'm going to stop. I'm not going to pay attention. So I would go and play football and basketball. And a lot of people, my close family got really mad that I was researching Ahmadiyya. So before I concluded, I was at the masjid. I asked the Murabbi. His name was Irshad Mali. He's now in the LA area. That's where they broke him in, right? And I asked at a general meeting, I asked him a question in front of 7 people, 7 to 10 people. When did Mirza Ghulam Ahmad change his position on prophethood? And nobody knew the answer to the question. The Murabbi didn't know. My family members didn't know. The Murabbi's son didn't know. They turned it on me and said, you're not an Ahmadi. And they forced me to sign the Ba'ath again, just because I was questioning it. So that was a red flag. All my flags are up. Something's wrong here. There's something going on with the prophethood of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. And just recently, Damon Stengel was supposed to have a debate with Kashif Shahzada, and I just did a video with him about the prophethood of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. And the Jamaat stopped him. The Khalifa stopped him. Ahmadis are not allowed to speak about the prophethood of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad.
Absolutely. I'm a personal witness, Brother Bashir. Bashir Shah Sahab, I'm a personal witness to that. Just about going a couple of weeks ago, there is a gentleman. He's from Canada. I won't name him here, but his brother Ahmad, you can call him. His second name is Ahmad. And he's very active. He organized a debate between a Murabbi from Ghana and myself. Well, I mean, I'm not into these sort of typical debates where you go one for one from you and one from me and all that. We just put the facts, and I discussed the format with him. It was about on the death of Jesus and his grave in Kashmir, Srinagar. So just out of interest, I just would like to mention this here. What you've said has just reminded me. I agreed with him. The format. I modified the format the way he wanted it. And he said that we will do a ballot, who goes first. I said, no, you don't have to. You choose. Do you want me to go first? I'll go first. You want to go first? You go first. And then we do the debacle and all that. So he agreed with everything. Absolutely everything was agreed by him. I've got it in writing in my inbox on WhatsApp. And then what happened? He backed off. He said that, oh, my Amir of my town, I discussed with him, and he said, you don't need to get involved into any debate, etc. So yeah, this is very typical. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, so the Jamaat controls their entire life, and this is the problem that I always had, is the Jamaat controlled my family, my family's income, who we're gonna marry, who we're not gonna marry, etc., etc. There's so much control. No one challenges the Khalifa. I was even told that even questioning the Khalifa is a huge sin, to question, and many Ahmadis have made malicious videos about me, calling me an alcoholic, calling me the worst things, brother, the worst things that you can imagine. They say I don't know how to read the Quran. I don't know. Oh, it's there's no love for all, hatred for none. It's all an asylum stunt. They have a few front men who are out there who have approval. So Tariq Chaudhry has Jamaat approval to be doing the things that he's doing, but he can't get into a debate without official. So you won't see the Ahmadi Murabbis doing this stuff on YouTube. They're not allowed. So yeah, they are totally controlled. In my opinion, Ahmadiyya is a cult. They were probably promised a government. They were probably the government control by the British, and it didn't materialize. Instead,
right. So okay, let me just bring you in here now, because you know, time is a bit short, and also just to let you know that AK Sheikh Saab and Brother Umar is in the backstage. They're listening to what we're talking about, and I want all of you to know the reason I found out that why I've been you know, keep getting disconnected. The reason is that my phone, this time I'm using my mobile. I'm not using a laptop or anything, and it's telling me that it's getting really warm. It's getting hot. So that's why I'm probably losing the Wi-Fi connection. Now, just to let you know that I'm here, I'm hosting it with you guys, and it's my privilege to speak to all of you. But in case if I get disconnected and I don't come back for a while, that would mean that I'm making my phone cool down a little bit. That it's gone too hot and it's not catching up with the Wi-Fi. Don't worry, I'm not going to put it in a freezer or something, but I mean, I'll let it, I will let this cool down a little bit. And then three of our guests, you know, you please continue talking in that time. I will rejoin. But just to let you know that if it happens next time and I don't come back for a little while, maybe I'm giving my phone some time to cool down, okay? So everybody's back on screen now, and Brother Bashir, briefly, I would like you to tell us, I mean, very, very briefly, honestly, like literally a minute, is that so when did you take the plunge? I mean, when did you decide to just call it a day and you say enough is enough?
Yeah, so I officially quit Ahmadiyya in 2015, in late 2015, and I said the Shahada in 2016. So I've only been a Muslim a few years, brother. You know, and I'm still learning a lot about Islam. I came, you know, for a while, I didn't do any, when I was an Ahmadi, and I'll tell you, most Ahmadis are closet atheists, closet agnostic. They don't believe it. The Islam Ahmadiyya Reddit forum is the evidence. If you ever needed evidence, the majority of Ahmadis in Canada, UK, America are agnostic or atheists. We love them no matter what, but Ahmadiyya theology forces you to think either Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's right or everyone's wrong. So I'm glad I was
absolutely. You've hit the nail on the head. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm glad I was able to come out of that and come to Islam slowly. It took me a long time, like 10 years, to finally become a Muslim. And it was mostly academic and reading, and I read a lot, and it makes a lot of sense to me. So there.
Brother
Absolutely.
Bashir,
thank you. Bashir, this is wonderful. From Omar, Brother Omar, also wonderful. I mean, what we've heard from you is an inspiring story. And Sheikh Saab, of course. I mean, AK Sheikh Saab is the towering light amongst all of us. And you really have been doing a great job, all of you guys. I mean, I have spoken to you in the past. I know what kind of activities you get involved into. May Allah bless you for all of what you do. Now, coming to the point where I would like to say, and I think you know what I'm going to do. Let me tell you. I'm a coordinator, come host, come participant. My job is to coordinate. What I'm going to do here, because I can feel, here is my phone, and believe me, it's red hot, and it's going to go off any minute. So what I would request in this case, what you guys do, Sheikh Saab, Brother Umar, and Brother Bashir, continue to talk, and mostly what our viewers, our listeners will be interested to know is that how have you been propagating the true faith? I mean, where is it coming from? How do you explain to the people that why Ahmadiyya Jamaat is lying to you about Islam, and what particular benchmarks are that you have set, and then you hit them each time, you hit the right note. And obviously, when somebody wants to come to the right faith, or at least they want to testify their own faith, that whether they're right or wrong, those notes are hit. So continue talking. with my apology from the viewers, being an host, it looks very odd, very awkward. But unfortunately, I don't want to just disappear from the middle. My phone has signaled me once already that it's very hot. So I will go off the show for a bit, say 5 to 10 minutes probably, and I will rejoin. In the meantime, please talk about those notes that you think every preacher who's talking to Qadianis, who's talking to Jamaat Ahmadiyya people, should hit those notes and present them. So with that, we seek permission for a little bit. And Sheikh Sab, you first, please go ahead.
Thank you.
Jazakallah. And I'm really sorry, but I'll be back, definitely.
Thank you, Brother Dawud. Thank you so much. Well, the gentleman, the main thing for this channel and on the social media, those who left this cult, they want to show you, they want to bring the real face, the real teachings, their intentions of this Ahmadiyya cult, to let you know that having the name of Islam under the umbrella of Islam, what are the intentions, what they are doing. The very first thing I tell you, they are hijacking Islam. They are hijacking Islam. They are stealing the identity of Islam. They want to introduce a new identity of Islam. Now, if the Muslims, if we don't know the real Islam, how we can defend ourselves, how we cannot be decepted. If we know Islam, if we have a knowledge of Islam, sure, we can make a comparison and we can say, yes, this is right and this is wrong. It's just like very simple thing. If we don't know what is hot, how we would know that what is cold? So to know who is presenting you Islam, but that is not the real Islam. So we must have some criteria. The criteria is the Quran. And we have to, whether less or more, we should know that what is Quran and what Quran demands from us, what Quran says. So these things, when we know, then we easily can judge these peoples and their intentions and their motives. Now, I am very happy, to be honest with you, 23 years before when I started this one. And I said, instead of that one making a debates and all these kind of things, now please listen carefully to me. I am not here on the social media. Yes, I made a 1 or 2 debates with these people, but I'm not here on social media to make any kind of a debate. To me, honestly speaking, today is a wastage of time. Today, they are diverting you the other way. Today is the time of awareness, to educate the people. So bringing the awareness, this Zaitoon channel and these my young men, they are not anti-Ahmadiyyas. They are spreading regarding the real face of Ahmadiyya. They are spreading the awareness about this cult. And we have to bring, it's just like, I can give you an example of this one, that when you see the medicine, which is a cure of your problem, your illness, when that medicine is good for you, but at the same time there is a caution and warning on the labels that do not exceed the dose, and these are the side effects. That exactly job these young men are doing over here. They are bringing those kind of things which are not good, which are wrong, misleading, hurtful, harmful. They are bringing that one. So this is our awareness. I will definitely ask Brother Bashir and Umar, please share your experiences, share your thoughts with your fellow brothers and sisters, that how they can judge, how they can distinguish that what is right, what is wrong, and what are the things we have to be aware of these from a cult. Please.
MashaAllah. Respected Sheikh Saab, thank you so very much. I couldn't agree with you more. There's the truth. I mean, in the Western world, Christians often refer to the truths shall set you free. And there could be no better statement regarding Qadianiyat or Ahmadiyat. Please, brothers and sisters in Ahmadiyat, and I say in Ahmadiyat and not in Islam because when I was going to school in Karachi, Pakistan, we studied Islamiyat. And you Ahmadis are studying and inculcated in Ahmadiyat. So number one, if you're here watching the show, you're here because you're seeking the truth. And in order to seek the truth, you have to be neutral. You have to be neutral and listen to the messages that you are receiving. Number two, anything that you read from your own Jamaat that is contradictory in nature, you have to be able to set it aside and analyze it with a good, clean, neutral mind. You cannot be indoctrinated with such dogmas that make absolutely no sense. I'll give you the brief. You've heard from me just the year of birth, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, and how the Qadiani Jamaat juggle that, and they do it with such academic dishonesty that it just makes no sense. But the other thing is just study Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's life. Study what he thought of his father, what he thought of his elder brother. These things are very crucial. When you analyze them, you will realize that this person that you, of all people, are considering to be a prophet is far beneath that. I'm not making these things up. If you are true at heart, and as respected Sheikh Saab has mentioned, you will find the truth, but you have to be willing to accept it. Allah is ever living, has been, will always be, and the message that we've received from our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is still alive, and it will be alive till the day of Qiyamah. And when Hazrat Isa returns, I believe in his return. It's been promised. It was promised by a person whom I have the utmost respect to and my allegiances to the one and only Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Please give it some thought. Don't shun away from it. Don't hide. Don't deny it. If you're here at FM Live, Zaitoon FM Live, you're here for a reason. You're meeting all of us for a reason. We were there. I myself was in the same shoes that probably respected AK Sheikh Saab was in 2005, and he before me and Brother Bashir after me. I did want to make one comment. Brother Bashir said he had just joined, accepted Islam in 2015. I want to correct my younger brother here. No, all three of us on the screen, from respected AK Sheikh Saab to my brother Bashir Shah and myself, we were all Muslim at heart. And a Muslim recognizes the truth, accepts the truth, and shuns falsehood immediately. That's our responsibility.
Thank you. Thank you, Umar. Thank you so much. Brother Bashir, before I ask you to say your thoughts, let me make one announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, there is one of our sister from the Ahmadiyya cult. She handed over to me a letter addressing to Masroor. She wrote a letter and she quit this cult, and she is coming on Monday on my program, and I will have a live interview with her. And you will be surprised that she was a very active member of Ahmadiyya community. And please don't forget to join us on Monday with the sister, a live program on that's number one. Brother Bashir, please you say the few words, then I'll tell something else about that one. Yes, Brother Bashir.
Right. So the issue is, Ahmadis are brainwashed, fully brainwashed, and they do not question. For example, Tariq Chaudhary and Damon Stengel have been given these verses of the Quran, 735, 469, chapter 2, verse 5, and they're told to go and argue with these verses. They don't think for themselves. They don't say, well, let me go look it up. What did Mirza Ghulam Ahmad say about these verses? So that's the issue, is Ahmadis trust their mullahs. They trust them. So once they trust them, anything that they say is true. No questions asked. So that seems to be the problem. But the younger generation in America is not like that. The younger generation is, in fact, they reported only 400 conversions to Ahmadiyya from the USA, Canada, Germany, and the UK. So from the modern world, in just 1 year, and even that's a lie. It's not 400. It's like 5. 5 people probably converted. They're probably going to leave. And there's more people leaving Ahmadiyya in those 4 countries by far. So how do we get past the brainwashing? I think slowly, the brainwashing is going to go away. And I think social media and YouTube has spread so much information that the Ahmadiyya cult might not last to the next Khalifa. You never know. This might be their last Khalifa. So
inshallah.
Yeah, inshallah to that, brother. And you got to read. People, you got to read the original sources. It doesn't matter what you want to read about. If you want to read about a global warming and you're interested in it, you go read the sources. You don't go to the channel that you watch, the news channel, and trust everything that they say. You should be double checking and making sure everything is correct. So the Murabbis are to blame. The Qadiani Murabbis are vicious. They have a problem with job security, so they are on the job. They are telling Ahmadis whatever, all these arguments. There's a show out there, a podcast, where they quote the Quran, but they don't quote Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. Like they quoted the Quran in terms of and I'd have to pull it up. Hold on. Let me pull up the verses. I don't exactly remember. Yeah, chapter 17, verse 93. They're quoting this verse, trying to disprove the Miraj, but they don't quote Mirza Ghulam Ahmad and what he said and his comments and why did he make these comments and where did he do it. So hopefully this continues to change. I see a huge trend. They're not getting any converts. They're beginning to admit to it. Africa is a hoax. They have no Jamaat in Africa. All the Murabbis are Pakistani, 99%. And it's like one of those fake for-profit universities. They show this and they show all that, but really there's no one there.
Oh. Thank you, Brother Bashir. Thank you so much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this English channel will bring the issues in your language, like the young ones who can only understand English, who can only speak English, because they cannot read, they cannot write the Urdu language. And the founder of Ahmadiyya cult, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, he wrote all his books in Urdu language, a couple of in Arabic language. No, the 99% work is in Urdu. So now this cult is trying to translate into English and twisting and changing the meanings and giving you some other interpretation, which he doesn't mean. He means something else, but they think that if they will translate exactly what he said, they will be ashamed, and you guys will never accept Thank you, Brother Davar. I'll give you just let me say a few words, and I'll hand over to you.
Please go ahead.
They, if they will translate exactly what he has written, and they will translate in English the exact wordings, to be honest with you, you will not accept for a second. No, I'll give you an example of that one. You can see in my hand, this is a Malfuzat, a volume 8. Now, this is the old edition. Keep it in mind. Now they have changed the edition and they made 5 instead of 10. You know why? There is a bad intention behind this one. That if I will just write on my Facebook page, or if I will quote during my speech, I will say, oh, volume 8, page this, they will come up. Oh, there is no volume 8. Hi, Chuchu. They will say that there is no volume 8. There is no page like this, number one. Number two, now I'll read just an example just for a few minutes. Now, on the page of 66 of this, 66, right?
Right.
Now, 66, they say, मौतो हयात मसीह का मसला तो यूं ही राह में आ गया. Now, he's saying that life and death of Jesus, life and death of Hazrat Isa, it just came by the way. It's not their real. Now, today you can see on the social media, the very first thing they ask to someone, would you tell me what you believe? Do you believe Hazrat Isa is dead or alive? That's the first question every MD asks from every Muslim before starting anything. And what their founder is saying.
I think we're having.
His founder is saying, okay, let's we go to the next one. What he says on the other one, I'll tell you.
I don't know if all of you had the connectivity issue, but I did.
Sorry, who is this? Is it Brother Umar?
Yeah, I had. I don't know if it was mine or if it was all yours.
No, I think it's probably your. But your photo is static. Your video is static, but we can hear you loud and clear. It's fine.
Okay, very good.
Okay. Now, on the other page, I have the same book in my hand, 343, page 343. He says, इसी तरह मसीह की हयात का मसला भी एक अजीब सर है, बावजूद के कुरान शरीफ खोल खोल कर मसीह की वफात को साबित करता है और अहादीस से भी यही साबित होता है. Now, the question is this one. So please listen very...
Sheikh Saab, just a moment. For our English viewers, I will just do a freehand translation of what you said quickly because they won't know. So basically what he's saying is that in his book, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Saab is saying that similarly, he's referring to something else probably in the pretext, and he says that similarly, the question or the phenomena of the death of Jesus, son of Mary, Isa ibn Maryam, also seems to be very strange because Quran is absolutely clear on his death.
On his death.
This is basically what he's saying.
Thank you. Now, think about that one. For 52 years, he used to believe that Hazrat Isa is not died and he's alive. Is mine?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay. So for 52 years, my young fellows, my English speaking.
Can you guys hear Sheikh Saab?
Ji sir? I'm fine. Can you hear me?
Sheikh Saab, I hear you.
Okay. Brother Davar, can you hear?
No, I can't hear Brother Omar either. No, it's I can hear, but it's very low. I mean, it's.
Okay, so we are listening each other. I can hear you.
Sheikh Saab, carry on talking. It's okay. You carry on talking. I don't want to interrupt you.
Okay, thank you.
I will rejoin the stream. Probably there is some problem.
Okay, thank you. So he used to believe, he used to believe for 52 years that Hazrat Isa was alive. Now, tell me, the same time he made a claim that the knowledge, that the understanding of Quran, what he has, no one has like him. So, if I take him that he was right, later, if you ask these now today's Murabbiyan, Muallameens, Ahmadis, they say, oh, when Allah told him, when Allah guided him. Now the question rises, why Allah did that? If in Quran clearly says, the Quran clearly mentions that Hazrat Isa has died, then how come he used to understand that Hazrat Isa is still alive? There is something wrong. Now, the wrong is not in Quran, Maazallah. The wrong is not with Allah. The wrong is with Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. That was his misunderstandings. I can give you a lot of these quotations regarding this one, whatever he used. Now today, they start talking with the death and life of Hazrat Isa, and whereas he says in his books, oh, it was not the real purpose of my arrival. It was not the real purpose of my appointment or my arrival that I should resolve this one, or I should make it clear. No, this is not the purpose. When this is not the purpose, then my question, Ahmadis, my question, then why Ahmadis start with this one that is Hazrat Isa? Let the people whatever they think, because it is very much clear. Yes, when you see the tradition of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the hadith, where he mentions that Isa ibn Maryam, he clearly says that there is no one likewise Isa, is exactly that Isa who was a son of Mary. Now, you know how he is becoming son of Mary. He becomes himself, first of all, the Mary, then he becomes a pregnant, then he give a delivery of Isa. I mean, come on. You guys, today's world, today's time, you have psychology, you have logic, you have a science. Can you believe him? What he's saying? So think about these things, and this channel, this English channel, will exactly what is written in his books, I tell you. They will provide, these gentlemen will provide you. I'm sorry, my English is not that good. That's why I can't translate good and I can't speak, but my Urdu channel will be everything there.
Sheikh Saab, you're doing a fantastic job. Let me tell you, don't worry.
Mashallah.
Mashallah. We hear you loud and clear. Everybody understands you loud and clear. Absolutely. I mean, the particular incident that you've referred to in Ruhani Khazain, how he became Isa ibn Maryam, I will just take a minute. I will share my analysis of that with you.
Please.
And what I shared with the people of Ahmadi Jamaat Ahmadiyya, and they're speechless. I don't get any response from them on this. It's a very simple, logical explanation that I do. I mean, first of all, what people who don't know what Mirza Saab said, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani Saab said in his book to become Isa ibn Maryam, because the promise in the hadith is of Ibn Maryam, the son of Mary. And son of Mary, whether it's a Jew or a Christian or a Muslim, the three monotheistic religions, or even Hindus or Sikhs for that matter, or even atheists, they all know who is the son of Mary. No, we don't even need to explain who is the son of Mary. So he is the one who's supposed to come. Now, to become that, to become Isa ibn Maryam, what he says, that what Sheikh Saab was referring to in his talk, he said that I was raised for 2 years in the characteristic of Maryam, Sifte Maryam. I was raised in the characteristic of Maryam for 2 years. Then 2 further years passed on that. After that, in the form of ista'ara. Ista'ara means that you analogy, and it's an analogy. In the form of an analogy, the spirit of Isa was entered into me. So I became pregnant with the spirit of Isa. In an analogy, not in reality, he's saying, in an analogy, I became pregnant. And
Metaphorically.
then after a pregnancy, which was not for more than 10 months, I was delivered. I delivered myself as Maryam. I delivered myself as Isa, and that's how I became Isa ibn Maryam. Now, I mean, in whatever, I have a very limited study, and you gentlemen, distinguished gentlemen, I'm sure you have a lot of study about the religions of the world other than Islam. I have not come across in any type of religious literature where such an ambiguous, a multifold, twistable to all 360 degrees angle statement has been given to claim some kind of a prophethood. I have not come across. If you have, you can tell me. Now, interestingly, this is what I say to the people of Jamaat Ahmadiyya. They say to me, oh, you know, Brother Dawar, it's in Sahih Muslim, Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has said, and he said, I swear by the name of the one who has got hold of my life in his hand, means Allah, that Ibn Maryam will definitely descend amongst you. He will come. Ibn Maryam is only one, as I said. So they say, oh, no. Ibn Maryam is an astara. It's, you know, it's like a metaphor. Anyone who is doing his job is Ibn Maryam. That's what Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is referring to. So I asked them a very simple question. I said that if there was somebody who was to be like Isa ibn Maryam, like Masile Masih, they call it in Urdu, in Persian. And Mirza Sahib called himself first Masile Masih, then Masih Maud. First he said, someone like Isa, Masile Masih, someone like Masih. And then he said, Masih Maud, the Masih who is promised. These are two different things. So I asked them, if Mirza Sahib was just in the likeness of Isa ibn Maryam, like he claims, to say, I've come in his likeness, he's dead, he's not coming, the hadith is about me, so I have come in his likeness. I said, why on earth did he go through this spaghetti junction explanation of impregnating himself, first of all becoming Maryam himself, then impregnating himself with the spirit of Isa, and then delivering himself from himself so he could be called Isa ibn Maryam? What is the need for that? All he had to say is that, look, Jesus is dead and I have come in his likeness and I'm the one who was promised. Why did he have to go through this whole palava, this mumbo jumbo? Only because he had to prove, and he knew that the hadith of Sahih Muslim is about Isa ibn Maryam and no one else, and that's how he made himself Isa ibn Maryam. And I asked the Qadiani Jamaat, I said, do you have an explanation? And none to date has come to me and say, no, you have misunderstood it. None.
Okay, brother
Right.
Dawar, I think
Yes.
we left only 2 minutes in the time of our.
All right. Okay.
Sheikh
Well,
Sahib, if I can.
So
Yes,
no,
go ahead, brother.
definitely,
Yes.
I'll give you simple. Once again, I have to announce this, that please don't forget for Monday's transmission. The Monday when I'll come, inshallah, I'll come with that lady who have accepted Islam, who left the Ahmadiyya, and she will have a live program on 1 p.m. Toronto time, Canadian, and 10 p.m. Pakistan time. And Brother Dawar, what will be your time?
Well, we are at the moment 7 minutes past 8 p.m. So
no, I mean
can,
when it's our
it will be 6. It will be 6 p.m.
So
UK time.
6 p.m. UK time Monday. We will have a live program of our newly born in Islam, our sister, and you can visit my Facebook page, Ahmad Kareem Sheikh. There is a letter of her which she wrote to Masroor that she's quitting that one and she's no more Ahmadi. You can.
Oh, is
find
this the elderly lady that we know?
No,
Is that her?
She's a young lady. She just 2 days before, 3 days, she wrote to Masroor. She's the new one. And
May Allah accept her faith.
Thank you. So thank you, all of you.
Yes,
and
Brother
please,
Umar.
Yes.
Very quickly.
Just 2 minutes.
And then Brother Bashir Shah, you both have a minute each. Go ahead. Don't worry.
Okay. Yes. To highlight what Brother Dawar Aziz was mentioning about Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, Nauzubillah, God forbid, becoming Maryam and Hazrat Isa, I just wanted to share something very extremely related to that topic in Ruhani
And
Khazain.
quickly, please, and quickly,
Yeah.
because we will
Yeah.
have to do the closing ceremony as well,
Okay.
closing remarks.
Okay.
Yes.
In Ruhani Khazain, volume 18, page 541, Nuzulul Masih is the
Limasi.
book. Nuzulul Masih is the book, and Mirza Ghulam Ahmad writes, ये वही वादा था जो सूरह तहरीम में किया गया और जरूर था कि इस वादे के मुआफिक इस उम्मत में भी किसी का नाम मरियम होता और फिर इस
So
तरह
this was the promise that was done in Surah Tahrim, and it
Yeah.
was to be ordained that somebody in this ummah had to be like in the likeness of Jesus. Yes.
Yes, इस तरह पर तरक्की करके उससे ईसा पैदा होता. So then after
This is
becoming
how
Hazrat,
someone. This is how someone would have progressed to become Isa.
okay,
Yeah.
और वो इब्ने
And Maryam also.
yes, और आगे वो फरमाते हैं, मिर्ज़ा गुलाम कादियानी फरमाते हैं, और वो इब्ने मरियम कहलाता, सो वो मैं हूँ.
So he would have been called Ibn Maryam, and so there is me. That is me.
Okay, वही the revelation हुज़ी इलैक, वही हुज़ी इलैक मरियम को भी हुई और मुझे भी. मगर बाहम फर्क ये है कि उस वक्त मरियम ज़ाफ़े बदनी में मुब्तला थी और मैं I can't even imagine, और मैं ज़ाफ़े माली में मुब्तला था. So, you know,
So
here
basically, he's creating a parallel between himself and Maryam alayhi salam.
Thank
He's saying that Maryam also received Wahi, I also received Wahi. The difference is that Maryam was weak by the body at that time, and I was weak in wealth at that time. So I was weak and she was weak.
Yes, I mean, what a comparison. This
I know.
message needs to go to all the currently pregnant Ahmadi women. Think of what you're going to go through. Think of what you're going to go through
Brother,
in the labor
I'm sorry,
pains.
I'm gonna have to stop you there because we're already running out of time. Brother Bashir Shah, very quickly, closing remarks, please. Thank
Final
you.
word. So the reason Mirza Ghulam Ahmad made up the pregnancy, the reason Mirza Ghulam Ahmad made up all these parallels from the beginning, before he published Rahini Ahmadiyya Volume 1, he was going to claim to be the second coming of Isa. It was all planned. He lied about it, called himself Masih al-Masih. He lied about his prophethood. He lied about everything. He didn't mention the Mahdi for the first 10 years. He purposely, and Brother Dawar Aziz showed this from the book At-Tabligh, which was only in Arabic, when Mirza Ghulam Ahmad admits to it. He says he knew all along that he was going to be this.
Yes.
So it was a plan. And those ladies and gentlemen.
Totally. Thank you so much. Okay, gentlemen, we've come to the end of the show, and I would like all the viewers to know that this is not the end. This is the beginning. We have just done an introductory show today, and inshallah, hopefully very regularly, at least once a week to start off with. You've seen four of us, myself, Sheikh Saab, Brother Umar, and Brother Bashir Shah. And we also have another gentleman who unfortunately could not attend today, Mr. Chowdhury. Chowdhury Saab, Akbar Chowdhury Saab, he was not available. 5 of us will hopefully run this show once a week at least. We all 5 may not be present in every show, but believe me, whatever we will present will be full of research, will be full of knowledge, will be full of the things that every Muslim and people from Jamaat Ahmadiyya need to know. It's not just an awareness for the Muslims so that they can be careful and people don't steal their faith, their iman. It's not just, this transmission is not just for the Muslims. It is also for the people who call themselves Ahmadi. They belong to Jamaat Ahmadiyya and they believe Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani Sahab to be the promised Messiah and the Mahdi and a Nabi and a Prophet of Allah. This is an awareness campaign for them also, that they must know what their Murabbiyan Ikram, their Murabbis, their Shahids, their religious hierarchy has hidden from them. We will not present anything written from the books which are published by the people who are working for Khatm Nabuwah, the Maulanas and the Muftis. They have done an amazing job, a grand job they've done. We're not even going to refer to it because that would be categorized as biased writings and biased research. What we are going to present to you is from the books of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib himself, and of course his successors, his sons, people who were close to him, that astaghfirullah, he called them Sahaba Ikram. those people who saw him, they lived their life with him and they wrote about him. We are only going to show you from the books. The books are available online. You can go and check our references. And if you find something wrong with those references, come and tell us and we will correct ourselves. However, now here is the important bit. If you can't find a fault with what we have presented you from his own writing and evidence from his own home, if you cannot refute it, think again. Because this is not the matter of your parents, your business, your property, your bank balance, your social circle, your relationship. This is your iman between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He knows what's in your heart. If you come across the truth, accept it. This is all we ask for. And like all the prophets of Allah have said in the Quran, that we do not seek any reward from you for this. Our reward is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So please do tune into this English channel. It's for the English speaking people. For those who don't understand Urdu channel, we've started this. With this, I would like to thank you, Ahmad Karim Sheikh Sahab, Brother Omar Khan, Brother Bashir Shah, and myself, your host, Dawar Aziz from the United Kingdom. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we hope to see you again very regularly, very soon. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.